All right, is the Trump administration going to issue a national housing emergency? And if they do, what does that mean? There's been a lot of headlines lately, but here's the reality of it all. So first is interest rates. To be clear, the government and even the Fed does not set mortgage rates. They control what's called the Fed funds rate. And that's the rate that kind of sets what banks charge each other for literally overnight loans to each other. And that Fed funds rate will influence what Wall Street investors see happening with the overall economy and with other interest rates for all other types of loans. But mortgage rates move mostly based off of inflation trends, job reports, and the overall economic outlook. Now, what the government is likely to do are tax credits to offset closing costs. And it wouldn't be the first time. In 2008, they issued a First-Time Homebuyer tax credit. And to do something like this again, it requires an act of Congress. It wouldn't really require a national housing emergency. Other things that are being discussed are permitting timelines and things that the government can do to control the cost of building materials for new construction. So first off, permitting is handled at the local level. So anything done at the national level likely won't speed anything up anytime soon. And tariff carve-outs for lumber and metal could have a future impact, but they won't bring down today's prices. And then finally, there's Fannie and Freddie. So 60 to 70% of all mortgages eventually end up at one of those two institutions. And these organizations are known as government-sponsored entities, which means the government still controls them after the 2008 bailouts. And there's been talk about selling them back to the private sector, which could spur innovation, but that would really take years to see any benefits for homeowners. The overall take with this national housing emergency is what could come out of this is maybe some short-term relief with some sort of tax break. But that's really about it that the government can do in the short term. And our take is anytime the government steps in to put their weight on an economic issue, there's usually going to be long-term disruption. So think back with COVID. Rates were slashed, cash flooded the economy. Everybody wanted to buy homes because of how low interest rates were, but that caused real estate prices to skyrocket, and the ripple effects are still here 5 years later. So sometimes the best solution is just to let the market run its course. So meanwhile, mortgage rates have dropped to their lowest point all year. So if you have been thinking about refinancing or maybe even getting pre-approved to buy a new home, it is a good time to reach out to a lender that you trust to start that process. And we'd be happy to help you here at Novum. All right, thanks. If you've listened this long, thank you so much. It's Friday, so we wear red to remember everybody deployed here at Novum. Go Navy.